welcome to the deep dive. Today we're cracking open something pretty interesting, a really modern kind of archive.
Yeah, it's the professional blog of Dr. Ruth Stalker-Firth, who's a big name in human-computer interaction, HCI.
Right. And the researchers here, their mission was basically to treat this born digital thing. I mean, it gets like 1.2 million hits a year. Like, treat it with the same kind of seriousness you'd usually reserve for, I don't know, old manuscripts.
Exactly. It sounds a bit weird at first, but it's crucial. RSF herself is this fascinating mix, you know. She's got a PhD, lectures since 2001, but she's also out there working as a UX consultant. And her blog posts, the one she calls musings, they blend deep technical talk with, well, her own personal take on things.
So it's more than just random thoughts.
Oh, definitely. It's prime gray literature. That's where you see ideas, like an AI or UX, popping up really fast, way faster than formal academic journals can manage. It's the intellectual fast lane.
Okay, so how did they actually study this? Let's get into the tools. They wanted to find hidden themes, right? Beyond just the tags she uses.
Yeah, for that they use something called topic modeling. The specific method was latent Dirichlet allocation, or LDA.
LDA, okay. So it ignores her tags, like AI or feminism.
Right. It looks at the words she actually uses together across all the posts to find these latent conceptual clusters, things she might not have explicitly linked herself.
Could you give an example of what that might find?
Sure. So RSF might tag posts with feminism and maybe artificial intelligence, but the LDA model could potentially find a hidden topic linking, say, feminism, Twitter, and maybe control, which could point to discussions about online harassment dynamics, even if she never used that specific phrase as a tag. That's the cool thing about these DH tools. They show underlying connections.
Okay, so that tells us what she's talking about, the hidden stuff too. But what about how she talks? That mix you mentioned, the academic versus the personal voice.
Ah, right. Quantifying that strategic shift in voice. That's where stylometry comes in.
Stylometry. Sounds technical.
It is, a bit. It measures textual features. Things like vocabulary richness. They use a metric called type token ratio, TTR.
TTR, measuring vocabulary richness. Okay.
And the hypothesis was basically that RSF consciously shifts her style depending on the post type. She turns the academic voice up or down.
Wait, hang on. You're saying they can actually measure that, like prove mathematically she's switching styles?
Well, that's the aim, yeah. The expectation was the data would show her musings posts. The more personal ones have a lower TTR.
Meaning more repeated words, simpler vocabulary maybe?
Kind of, yeah. More vocabulary reuse and also lots of I, my, those first-person pronouns, more subjective.
And the formal stuff, like her posts about talks she gave.
Exactly. For talks or technical analyses, you'd expect to see a higher TTR, more varied vocabulary, and probably more complex sentence structures. It reflects that objective academic distance.
So it gives you actual numbers to back up this idea of a strategic hybrid voice.
Precisely. Quantitative proof of a necessary linguistic strategy in today's world, perhaps.
Makes sense. But expertise isn't just about style, it's also about responding to what's happening, right? How do you track if the blog's focus shifts over time, especially with current events?
Good point. For that, they use temporal analysis, specifically with TF-IDF.
TF-IDF. Term frequency inverse document frequency. Okay, unpack that a bit.
Basically, it tracks when certain words become unusually important in a specific post compared to how often they appear across the entire blog archive. By plotting this significance over time, you can see how the blog's attention shifts. Maybe it's focused on big ongoing debates like AI ethics.
Until something specific happens, like you mentioned her analysis of that Blackwall Tunnel UX failure.
Exactly like that. The TF-IDF analysis would likely show a spike around terms related to that specific event, showing the blog reacting sharply to a real-world concrete issue. It demonstrates that the blog isn't just an abstract monologue, it's a platform that engages with timely events. A rapid response.
Really interesting how these tools give different lenses. Now, before we finish, we absolutely have to touch on the ethics. This project had a specific framework, didn't it?
Yes, very important. An ethics of care framework, even though her blog is public data, freely available online.
Why was that needed then, if it's public?
Because there's an ethical consideration, a tension between publicly available and subjected to academic reanalyses. The framework mandates making best efforts to contact RSF.
To let her know they're doing this deep dive into her work.
Yes, to inform her about the project's scope, the methods they're using. It's about acknowledging her work, her digital labor, respecting the creator.
And it wasn't just about her, right? What about the comments section?
Crucial point. All audience-generated content, comments, usernames, any identifying details within those comments had to be mandatorily anonymized or just removed entirely.
To protect the commenters.
Absolutely. To shield peripheral subjects, people who just left a comment, from any potential harm or unwanted scrutiny that might come from being pulled into an academic study they never signed up for.
So, pulling it all together, what's the big takeaway here?
Well, I think it shows that these digital humanities methods let us treat even fleeting born digital stuff like blogs with real scholarly depth. We can go way beyond just a surface read.
And it proved that this blend of voices, the academic rigor mixed with accessible musings, it's not just her personal quirk.
Exactly. It's a quantifiable aspect of how expertise is communicated publicly now. And that leads to a bigger question, maybe for you listening. Is this kind of stylistic blend, this hybridity, becoming a requirement for any expert who wants to have public influence and keep their scholarly authority in this digital age? Something to chew on as you think about online voices.